Hi, everyone. I'm Carly.
And I'm Sophia.
And this is Away She Goes, a podcast from girls who travel.
Each episode will help you feed your wanderlust with travel tips, stories, inspiration, and more. Away she goes. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Away She Goes. Today, we'll be talking about traveling as a musician, which isn't the first job that comes to mind when talking about jobs that you need to travel for, but it's certainly one out of the ordinary. And since Carly is missing today, this special episode is reinforced, and I have two guests now. Yeah, today I have with me Jess Bowen and Bowie Jane, which are both musicians and also radio hosts of the show Babes Behind the Beats. Welcome.
Hey. Hi, thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming on. How are you guys today?
I'm doing great. I'm just having a great Friday. Went on a nice hike here in LA. It's finally not raining. So yeah, good day for me.
Yeah, and I'm here in Australia, so we are crossing the whole world here. So it's I think the rain's cleared here as well. So
nice. Here as well. Had some showers this morning, but not in the night.
Wow, it was raining everywhere then, all over the
world. Would you like to start by introducing yourselves to our listeners so they can map a voice to a name?
Sure, I guess.
Jess.
I'll go first. Hi, my name is Jess Bowen. As you mentioned, I'm a musician. I am a drummer. Primarily, I play with my own band called The Somerset, and I also play with some other artists on the side whenever I have free time. And also one of the co-hosts of Babes Behind the Beats that Bowie and I do on Adobe Radio. Go ahead, Bowie.
Okay. Yeah. My name's Bowie Jane. I live in Los Angeles as well, despite me currently being in Australia. And I'm a DJ and DJ all over America. I've also done gigs in the UK and Australia touring around. So I've traveled a lot, which is perfect for your podcast.
Oh, yeah, it is. So let's dive right in with the first question, which is, how is it different traveling, like being on tour or traveling for gigs, to be like traveling privately? Of course, you have like your day-to-day, your sound checks and so on, but how is it different in like the destinations that you go to? And what's it like flying with instruments? That seems like a bit of a scary nightmare for me.
Yeah, I feel like for Bowie and I, it might be, I guess, a little different because she has mastered the like packing of getting her equipment somewhere. And it's like, luckily for Bowie, and I mean, I say luckily, but I don't know if she likes doing this. It's like, she's a solo person that gets to travel.
Yeah.
And so with me and my band, if we're going, for instance, like overseas to Europe or something, you have like 20 pieces of gear between 4 of you guys that you have to check to get over there. And it's just like, it's a little chaotic, and then it ends up, costing a lot of money, obviously, because every person has 4+ bags to check because of all the instruments. So it's a little more hectic as far as traveling overseas with a band, as opposed to just traveling for leisure, because obviously I wouldn't bring 4 pieces of luggage with me to travel to Europe or anywhere else.
You just bring hand luggage.
Yeah, exactly. So, 4 pieces would be excessive for me to bring overseas. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the main difference for me as far as like when we're going overseas, but as far as like a day-to-day lifestyle. I mean, when you're on the road, it's like I actually love it. There's a structure. Every day is kind of the same. It's almost kind of like Groundhog's Day, but I love that because it's like you're just doing it in a different city. So you kind of wake up in a different city every day. And then you're, like you said, getting ready, for sound check at a certain time. Then you'll, do a meet and greet maybe, and then start, the show starts and whatnot, and in between all that I'm trying to figure out when I can fit in a workout or something like that. So I kind of love the structure of it, and I'm sure Bowie, like, I feel like you probably have the same experience with it.
Yeah, I'm the same. My gigs are more fly in, fly out. So I'm usually flying somewhere on the Thursday to get in for a gig on a Friday, and then fly somewhere on the Saturday for a gig Saturday night, and then it's possibly done unless you've got some midweek gigs. So, but yeah, I've got to bring my decks with me for some gigs, so it's hand luggage because I don't trust the airlines; it'll get smashed around. So I've got like music equipment you can take as hand luggage. There's a bit of an exception with most of the airlines. So I take that as hand luggage, and as much as I can fit on my back, and then just stuff that can get lost in the checked luggage because bags go missing and you've still got a gig that night. So, but Jess, with your drums, do you take anything hand luggage? Like, is there something that you don't want to lose?
That's a good point. So for drums, when you're going overseas, they normally will have what's called like a backline. So they will have drums there for you to use. So luckily I'm endorsed by a company that will have drums for me if I go to, Australia or Germany or the Philippines or wherever the gig is. But I do travel sometimes, and this is just like my own personal preference, with a snare drum and cymbals, because a lot of drummers prefer to have like those two things of their own that they just, and then the rest of the drums can just be whatever you use over there. So I do bring those, which is a good call because I bring those on the plane too. They're a bitch to carry though. I really hate it.
Oh, I know. It's so annoying.
So annoying. It's so heavy. And then I've got like 4 other guys in the band that like don't want to help me for some reason with it. So I'm just carrying like a bunch of cymbals and then my backpack and then a snare drum in one hand. And I'm just like, hello.
What's someone like your lead singer bringing with him? Just his mic, or has he got pedals
Literally
and
nothing.
stuff?
Literally nothing.
What an asshole.
Lead singers are so lucky because they don't have to worry about shit. They just show up. And they just, they've got nothing to worry about.
Just their microphone, maybe, but not even that probably for you
Not
guys.
even that, because honestly, our sound guy travels with the mics. So it's not even like it has anything.
And yeah, that's correct.
I'm not bitter or anything. You can't tell that I'm bitter.
Yeah. And like Jess was saying, I also like the routine of it. Once you get in a rhythm, it's fine. But it's like you're tired a lot of the time. So you're not, like, it's cool to see the new cities. And at first you're like, woo, I get to see a new city. And then you're like, I'm tired. I want to go to the gym. And then I'm going to have a rest. And I've got to go to sound check or whatever. So
that's a good point. I think after a little bit, it gets a little bit like monotonous to the point where you're not like, and I don't want to say monotonous because I realize that we're like very lucky to do this for a job, but like, you're not going to every morning want to go, like sometimes you just want to sleep in and you just want to, like you said, sleep, get your workout in, and then get straight to the sound check. So you really do have like, it's like, very planned out and all that, but we love it.
Yeah, because the gigs are grueling. Like you're physically so drained after it. Like you literally go to bed and you're like, oh, like, it's no partying really.
I can imagine it's like a workout in itself.
Oh, it
especially
is,
playing the drums.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. But even with Bowie, you should see her when she's DJing. I mean, she's all over the stage running around. She's doing like so much cardio because she's jumping like the entire 3 hours that she DJs. And I'm like, that's a lot of jumping.
It's insane. I've had to wear runners now on stage because of my Achilles from jumping too much. And I have to warm up before I go on stage. Ridiculous.
I thought that the other day, like just being in the crowd of a gig, but I thought like, damn, I should have warmed up.
Yeah. Now you got to warm up to be in the crowd these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That, really, that's some elder emo shit.
I feel that.
Yeah. But like when you actually have the energy, maybe in the first few days of tour, or if you're going to some new places you haven't been before, Bowie, do you get to see something of the places at all, or usually mostly like the McDonald's around the corner from the bus?
Well, if I'm flying in on a Thursday and it's like a morning flight and I can maybe check into the hotel and then go to the gym, and then I go out and I'm like, okay, what restaurants are around here? I'm usually in a good area. So I pick a cool restaurant, have a little look around, and if there's a fairy light, I will probably go there. And yeah, so that's good. But I think it's a bit different for Jess because she's in the tour bus a lot of the time. So you're parking in weird spots, right? Whereas I'm probably right in the city.
Yeah,
Or not
sometimes.
necessarily, I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess it depends on if it's like an off day. If it's an off day, I mean, even then we do tend to try to be in as big of a city as possible so that we can do something, you know, with our days and we're not just in the middle of nowhere. But that is, Bowie makes a good point. It's hard to find parking for tour buses. So that's why sometimes you're not in a major city. But yeah, like what Bowie said, I mean, I guess for us too, even if we're in a bus, like when you do have the energy in the mornings, I feel like my routine would be like waking up and finding like a coffee shop or somewhere to grab breakfast. And then, you know, like having a walk around the block around the area that the venue's in, or sometimes I'll have like specifically a place that like I want to go to in a certain city. Like to eat. So I'll like, you know, get an Uber to this like place that I've been looking forward to. Usually it's sushi or ramen.
I was going to say, I bet it's Japanese.
Yeah, it's always going to be some sort of, Japanese or Asian food in general is usually what it is. And yeah, that's kind of really, it's funny because working out and eating are the two things that I prioritize, I guess, and drinking. Like I like to go out and have it, not like excessively drinking, but I like to prioritize finding, you know, like a cool bar in the city. And especially if there's like an LGBTQ plus friendly bar, I'm usually like, or in a city like that, like I will try to find like a bar, that specific type of bar in whatever city I'm in.
Oh, and the other benefit Jess has is she has a band with her, so I'm on my own. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm fine by myself, but it's not like, it would be way better if Jess was with me, and then I'd be like, all right, we'll go to the gym, then we're going to a bar.
You say that now, but wait till we do a tour together and you'll be like, I can't wait to get away from Jess.
No, we did one like bit of travel together, and we're like, oh, I wonder what it's going to be like to travel together. And we both put on white noise at night, and we're like, oh, by the way, we put on white noise, and she's like, oh my God, I put on white noise. We're like, yeah.
Because some people don't like white noise. Like it bothers people, but I need to have it on when I'm sleeping. So thank God we have that in common. So we'll be fine for traveling.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Circling back on what you just said, Bowie, does it ever get lonely, or not? Is it not so bad because it's usually shorter trips for you?
No, I don't get lonely. No, I quite like. I prefer having people there, but I also am fine to be on my own. I know some DJs definitely struggle with that though. That's a big problem because you're on your own all year. But you're interacting with a lot of people, so mostly like the sound checks and stuff, and the tour you know, like the venue managers, and I guess you're constantly liaising with people, and you're tired. So.
I will say though, Bowie, I give you credit because I just DJ, not on the same level as you, but I had to DJ like an emo night event in Arizona. So I went back, and even though it's my hometown, I don't have any like friends that live there anymore, or they all have kids. So they're like, I'm not coming to watch you DJ at midnight. So, so I showed up like by myself, and I was like terrified. And then, I mean, it turned out to be fine. Like you said, you meet, you know, you're around people and stuff, but I feel like that's something that maybe you have somehow mastered. Because for me, I was just too scared, like going into something alone like that. I was like, oh, I just want my friends here with me. Yeah.
I never thought of that, but yeah, I guess you get used to it. So
yeah, that makes sense. You've been doing it, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think like once you get in the routine with someone else, so that's probably more fun. It is definitely more fun with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone to share it with is always nice to have on travels, I guess.
Yeah.
Traveling, especially as women, do you ever feel unsafe on the road? Like maybe just if the bus is parked in a sketchy area, because like I've been to gigs in like warehouse districts thinking like, should I invest in a taxi home?
Yes, absolutely. And that just brought up on a tour that I was on last year with an artist named Lights. I'm actually wearing her sweatshirt right now. I was playing drums for an artist named Lights. She's a Canadian pop artist. And we were in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. And I like got off the bus and was walking to a gym. Again, I found a gym that was a mile away. So I thought I'll just walk to it because it's like a nice walk, right? And a guy from across the street, I saw it like from a while away. I was like, oh no, this guy's like clocking me. I could see him. He was like across the other side of the street, full on like beelined towards me, and started just like following me. And I was in an area that was a little desolate. So there weren't like a ton of people around to be like, oh, I feel okay, because I could just scream or something. Like it really wasn't, there were not a ton of people around. And even though it was during the day, I was like, oh, this is not good. So I then had to like speed up and turn around to a different corner where I definitely saw like a group of people, so that I would be in like, you know, a group of people in case something were to happen. But the guy had turned and straight up followed me. And then once I got into this group of people, I just kind of kept walking with them, like right kind of behind them. And then he followed me for a little bit and then ended up leaving. But with that being said, then I was like, Lights told me, she's like, you cannot walk around by yourself if you don't have like even like a little knife on you or something, like pepper spray, like anything that you like, just to feel safe and to make sure, like, because being a woman, it is true, like, especially if you're going anywhere by yourself. And even during the day, which this was during the day, I got followed, and who knows what would have happened if like I didn't find a group of people or, you know, whatever would have happened. So it is definitely, it's scary. And I would recommend that women always, you know, try to be with someone at all times, especially in areas like that are a little sketchier, or have like pepper spray or something on you.
Yeah, I carry pepper spray, but that's legal, by the way, in America. In Australia, it's not legal to carry pepper spray. But
oh, it's not?
No, it's like, or a knife. It's an offense.
Oh shit. Well, yeah, I was gonna say, because these are just the little knives that like you pull out, like the what is it, like a pocket knife or something? But you can't have like that even.
Yeah, nah, yeah, and same with. But the pepper spray is great because that's like you. When I leave a venue, I have my finger on the pulse, basically. Isn't that
which is
bad?
smart.
But as a female leaving a venue late at night, so that's the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, I try and stay in. I'm not on a tour bus, so I'm in hotels, and I always make sure I'm staying in like a decent chain, say Marriott's or whatever, because it's not worth it's just not worth coming home late at night and it being an unsafe thing going to a Motel 6 or some cheap motel. So
it's fair.
That's true. Oh yeah, you already told me some of your travel hacks with carrying your gear in your hand luggage. Do you have any other airport hacks maybe, Bowie, having apparently mastered the art of the flight?
Well, I did know this question was coming up, so I have written a list because I was like, I won't be able to remember on the spot. You asked for travel hacks, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a few little things that make your life easier. I have a little tiny zip up pouch thing, and I put my cables in it. So I can use it on the plane in and out, like, because you want to put your big bag up above, and I just use that. And then another bag that I put the cable bag in. So it just makes the on and off on the plane much easier. Slip-on shoes, like slippers, so that you can on the plane, so you can go to the toilet, put your shoes on, come back to the seat, and sit with your socks on. I know some people are against that, but I sit cross-legged. So a neck pillow, obviously. And concentrate on sticking to one network for points. Like I fly everywhere on points. So not for the gigs, use the gigs and stick to one airline or one network, and same for hotels. And the last hack I have is getting an Amex Platinum card. It gives you lounge access, but it also makes you a gold status on Marriott, and Marriott then gives you late checkout if you're gold status, and you get a room upgrade. So there's a lot of perks to having the status. And just like you get to board the plane earlier and all that stuff. So, and that's all I've got to offer.
Fancy.
Yeah, Bowie's really got the flying part down for sure.
What are your hacks, Jess?
For flying or for tour? I'm going to go with the tour bus hacks maybe, because
your tour bus.
Yeah. So for me, the main thing that I would say on a tour bus, So in a tour bus, you don't get to keep your luggage up like on the bus with you. There's something underneath the bus called bays. So you would have to come off the bus to always grab stuff and then come back onto the bus to change and all that, right? So what I do is I bring either a duffel bag or like a mini suitcase with me. And then I'll fill that with like clothes and all the things that I need for like a week. And then I'll just constantly switch that out. And then I keep that on the bus with me so that I'm not, going down underneath the bus when I want to change into my pajamas and then back on the bus and then coming in the morning when I'm in my pajamas, coming out to get my clothes for the day. So I keep everything with me on a little, in a duffel bag or a little suitcase on the bus. And then for the bus, I also have like slippers like Bowie has on the plane, because you just don't want to be walking around barefoot on a tour bus because you just don't know the things that have fallen on the ground or whatever. And you're like, I don't like walking barefoot in general. I just feel like even in my own house, like I have house slippers. So I bring the house slippers for the bus. I also bring my own pillow to sleep on the bus because you never know how the pillows and the bunks are going to be. A lot of times they're just, they're fine if you were wanting to sleep on it for a night. But when you're on a bus for 6 weeks, like you want your own pillow. So my brother actually got me, this was like 10 years ago now, like a nice memory foam pillow. And I still have it to this day. And that's the pillow. It's my tour pillow. So I bring it with me on every bus tour that I'm on. And any other hacks? I mean,
I've also the travel makeup mirror. Except the venues usually have the good makeup mirrors anyway.
I was going to say I've never actually brought a travel mirror because the buses either have them like have mirrors anywhere. Like sometimes in the back lounge, the cabinets are actually mirrors. A lot of times in buses, the back lounge has mirrors, and then in the bathroom there's always a mirror. And then we have dressing rooms every day, so it's for me not worth it to pack like a mirror, but that would be a good one actually in case like anything went wrong and there were no mirrors ever. But I'm trying to think what else.
I went to a venue and it was a good venue, and most of them have the lights around the mirror to do your stage makeup or whatever, but this one just didn't. I was like, you idiot, not bringing my lit up mirror. But anyway,
do you have is it like a little one that's like portable?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should invest in something like that, because that is kind of nice because the thing about using the mirrors on the buses and stuff is sometimes the lighting is really bad. Like you can't find good lighting. My makeup
artist friend recommended it.
Yeah, maybe I should do that actually. Gonna write that down for this next upcoming tour. And then I'm trying to think. It's not really like a hack, but I just like to claim, I get to the bus early to claim, like whenever I know if the bus is coming, like, okay, the bus is picking us up on the night of April 5th. It'll be at the rehearsal space at 10 p.m. I make sure that I'm like the first one to the bus so that I like claim my bunk. And then I put
She sleeps out the night before.
I have a tent that I just wait in.
So like the fans at the concert.
I know, right? I'm like a fan at the concert waiting for the tour bus to arrive. And then I'm like, all right, here I come. But yeah, so then I scope it out, I grab my bunk, and then I also set like some stuff in. There's different compartments. There's, like I said, in the back lounge, there's like cabinets that you can put stuff in. So I'll make sure to like put like my mini suitcase in one of those cabinets so that I'm like, I have my spot for my little suitcase on the bus.
If I'm on a tour bus with you, I'm going to beat you to the bus.
Hey, if we're on a tour bus together, it's just us two. So we're going to have a whole pick of all the the bunk. So it wouldn't matter. But when I'm traveling with like 8 other people, I'm like, no, I want my bunk. No one's getting my
and
middle
you like the middle, right?
Yeah, I like the back middle. I had switched. I used to always tour in the front middle. And now I'm a back middle bunk tour person. I don't know what to call myself.
And I don't know if your listeners are interested in this, but I was always fascinated by this tour bus thing because I don't really get to go on them, and you can't poo on them. So
you cannot do that.
Get off.
Yeah, you have to get off. So you cannot do the number 2 on the tour bus, and you also cannot put toilet paper down. So when you pee as a woman, obviously you use toilet paper, but you have to remember to throw it in the trash can. And if you don't, you literally, and I've had this happen before because sometimes like there'll be people on the bus and it's fine because we write it, we try to tell them and we write it on like the wall and everything, but it happens. People get drunk and they forget. So you pay, it's like anywhere between like $500 to $1,000 fine. The tour bus will charge you for any toilet paper that goes down.
That's insane.
Yeah. So it's just like in my mind, it's like even when I'm home from tour, sometimes I forget that I can flush it. I'm like ready to throw it in. Like I'm now like programmed to just throw the toilet paper in the trash all the time.
Yeah, Lauren's like, ooh.
Yeah, she's like, what are you doing?
And how many people are on your bus? Is it 8 or 12 or something?
So you can fit up to 12 people on a tour bus. So, but on this upcoming tour that my band is doing, we only have 8 people. So we will have what's called 4 junk bunks. And that's so what we use those for is storage again. So I won't have to really actually worry too much about where I can put my mini suitcase because we're going to have so much extra room since there's only 8 of us as opposed to 12 usually. So
that's great.
Yeah,
Nice.
A lot of room.
That brings me to my last question. Did you find any favorite destinations that you found through touring that you probably like wouldn't have gone to thinking like, oh, I should go there?
Bowie, do you want to go first?
I still love the big cities because I love restaurants like New York, somewhere like New York, but that's obvious. But I did go to Chattanooga recently for a gig, which is in Tennessee, and which is actually very famous, but I had no idea. So that is a cute town. Like I would have liked to have spent some time there, but I didn't have time. I had to go to the next gig. So
yeah. For me, I feel like a couple places stick out that like I probably never would have traveled to if I wasn't touring, which would be like, I think Switzerland is so beautiful. And I never in my life would have ever gone there because I can't imagine that I would have just wound up sometime going to Switzerland, but it's beautiful. So Switzerland is one of them. And then, oh my gosh, what's the other one? Oh, I was thinking, and it's still crazy to me that I went there, but again, Russia. I went to Moscow to play a show once. And I was like, again, never in my life would I have been like, I'm going to go to Russia. And definitely not right now either. But like, at the time it was like cool. And I actually had a great time there. And it's just so cool and interesting to see all the different, like, types of like, just the different cultures and like how different like it is in these different areas and learning about all these different places and trying the cuisine and all that. So those are the 2 that stick out to me would be like Switzerland and Russia.
Nice. That's so cool. So thank you again for coming on the podcast. If you want to let our listeners know where they can find you and if they want to follow your upcoming tour, or at the time that this will be released, you're probably already on tour. Maybe the tour is even over.
Okay. Well, I guess for me personally, my name is Jess Bowen. So you can find me on pretty much every social media platform, should just be at Jess Bowen. And then our podcast together is Babes Behind the Beats. So you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. And the tour that I'm on is called the Blossom Tour with my band, The Somerset. So if this does happen to come out before the tour is over and you're in the US and want to come to one of the shows, you can just go to our website, thesomerset.com/tour.
Yeah, and mine is Everything's Bowie Jane, so DJ Bowie Jane, so BOWIEJANE. Instagram, TikTok, my website's djbowiejane.com, and obviously got the radio show with Jess. And also for any melodic house and techno fans out there, maybe are you a melodic house and techno, Sophia? Because you're in Germany, so I'm like, ooh.
I'm actually more of an emo kid.
Yeah, there you go. Well, for the non-emo, the melodic house and techno, I've got another radio show where I do just a DJ mix every week on Insomniac Radio. So you can find that on all podcast platforms as well. But yeah, that's it.
We'll make sure to put all of that in the description.
Yeah, actually, Babes Behind the Beats, we interview.
We like to interview like they identifying people in the music industry. So we feel like there's not enough of a spotlight on the women in the industry and women identifying people in the industry who we do a lot of there's a lot of us, and I feel like, again, it still feels like a man's world. So, come check out our podcast if you want to hear more from all the amazing women identifying musicians and artists.
That's all for this episode. If you'd like more Away She Goes in your life, make sure to stop by girlswhotravel.org/podcast. That's where you can fill out a form if you're interested in being a guest on the show. You can also write to us at awayshegoesgwt@gmail.com or leave us a message on our Google voicemail from any phone or computer at 1-563-503-6323. To follow our adventures, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Carly Sees the World. Carly is spelled Carli.
You can also follow me at Sophia AEZ, Sophia with a PH. Away She Goes is part of Girls Who Travel, a community dedicated to radically redefining travel to be inclusive, sustainable, and empowering. You can learn more about GWT, find travel tips and support, shop travel-themed items made by GWT members, and join our Facebook group with nearly 100,000 women all around the world at girlswhotravel.org. We can't wait to connect and explore with you. Away she goes.